Buckeye Football Weekly back in its rightful spot, and that means the Buckeyes must be home again. And, Coach, a long time on the road, I guess it seems like, especially when you're playing those late-night games, get back into somewhat of a normal routine here.
Well, our guys were anxious to get back here in Ohio Stadium and anxious to play in the daylight, and I feel a little bit of pressure on the show this week. We've got Dr. Steinberg's marketing and advertising class in as a studio audience, so we have to do well.
No, we have a lot more out there who are interested in what's going on with the Buckeye program as you step aside from Big Ten play and playing out of conference. It's kind of an odd time.
It really was, and it's not what you would design, but when we went to the 12 games and really for the good of having a comprehensive program and funding 36 sports, we needed to do that. And so the only open date, because of 11 teams in the Big Ten, is going to be in the middle of your season, and so it is, and we got it done.
Well, certainly a friend of the program, Dr. E. Gordon Gee, making an appearance on our show very recently, and also doffing the cap there at the stadium. Love to see him.
Ike Kelly, our honorary captain, did a great job speaking to our players, and our Player of the Year on special units is named the Ike Kelly Award, and so it was great to have him there. And we came out of the box and did a little rollout and found Dane Sanzenbacher for a first down.
He caught the first touchdown of the season, and there he catches the first pass of this game, and off and running go the Bucks. Off and passing, maybe we should say, because Hartline hauls it in for 25 yards there.
Well, there's a good little screen out there to Brian Hartline, and when you get your hands on the ball when you're number 9, you get some things done with it, just like here. We had him spread out all over the field and got him isolated on an inside defender, and he's a good matchup.
Quick 7-0 lead there. Did he figure to plan into this game plan that day, that way?
Well, we like to get it to he and Brian Robisky to start with for sure, and Ray Small. And here Kent's moving the ball a little bit on us, but we start putting a little bit of pressure and start hitting this quarterback a little bit, and all of a sudden now we've got them to the point where they got to punt the football.
You certainly said this week that the fans would appreciate and enjoy seeing their quarterback and their running back, Jarvis and Edelman, and certainly that was the case for the first quarter when they were in the game.
No question. And here, Brandon Sane, who lined up at the fullback position, ran a little wheel route, and Todd Beckman found him there. Got to have good pass protection for a play that takes that long to develop, and got that done and ended up punting it away. And here we working on the defense. Vernon Golston on the sack.
Yeah, 7-yard loss there after the big 35-yard complete to Brandon Sane and the change of possession. But the Bucks back on defense again, closing things down there. James Laurinaitis in as the first quarter comes to a close. A 7-0 count at this point. The return game gave you good field position throughout this one, and this was a biggie.
This was huge. School record, 90-yard punt return. After he gets around the corner, had some good blocks. It was the defense on the field and the punt safe unit. Ray Small got a good initial block, and Brian Hartline is off to the races, and here we've got a school record. Vernon Golston clear down, blocking that punter all the way to the end zone.
He was the guy that the players were mentioning after the game that made the big block that sprung that one, but certainly game-changing there as the Bucks add to the score at that point. And then still on defense here as they get the ball back, Edelman going the wrong way.
Well, our guys are flying around. James Laurinaitis was chasing them, and Doug Worthington and Donald Washington ended up with him, and Todd comes back to the air and finds a little post route to Brian Robisky, and we're down knocking on the door.
Pickoff of 24 yards there, and then Beanie picks up 7 on the ground and 7 more into the end zone.
Well, our guys did a good job. They came up with a little bit different front against us, and so we had to adjust a little, and we adjusted on that particular series, and then Donald Washington adjusted to the ball in the air and picked it and took it to the house.
I'd say he did. 72 yards on the punt return, or I should say the interception return for the touchdown, and they're giving the W there for Washington on the return, and those are game-changing plays that we'll talk about a little bit later. The defense changing the game again with a turnover.
Well, that's huge. We won the turnover margin 2-0, which is very, very big for us. Came back, and Todd Beckman found Jake Ballard out in the flat. He was actually the check-down receiver, and he read through his progression and found Jake and moved it down. Then he found Mo Wells on a little bit of a boundary route, and Mo Wells gets into the end zone. And after that turnover, put another 7 on, and that was important for us to get that big lead.
Well, certainly 35-0 as you go to the half there, and just about everything going right. You've scored offensively, defensively, on special teams. That's the way you like to get it going.
Well, there's no question about it. And we went in, talked about it at halftime, and said, we're going to go out there offensively and start the second unit. And we told them, make sure you do as good a job as you could possibly do so that we don't need to bring the first unit back in. And Defensively, we wanted to start the first unit because we were kicking off and make sure we stopped them and then do a lot of substituting after that and because we need to develop our depth if we want to have a chance at the Big Ten championship.
We couldn't do it if the first half didn't go the way it went, certainly. And those returns are just killers.
Oh.
They are backbreakers when you take, and not just the distance and the yardage, but I mean the time of possession that you have and everything combined.
Emotionally,
Yeah.
you know, when you're away from home and you give away 14 points, you know, against a solid team, it's going to be a tough day.
So 90 yards on the return, that's a school record. And then Donald Washington gets the defense
72 yards.
Yeah, onto the board there, too. And you know the D, with the way things are going there, the only thing they haven't done this season is to post themselves a shutout. But they were getting rushed on a little bit there by Jarvis.
You know, Jarvis is a good back. And, you know, we're not sure that we tackled as well as we have. We were a little bit more hesitant. Perhaps at times, and that's something that we're going to study. And because if you think Jarvis was good, wait till you see Javon Ringer from Michigan State.
Well, certainly also Donald Washington, just the fact that he caught the ball.
That's right.
Defensively.
we had the pick, and we dropped 4 of those last Saturday night over at Purdue. So we're progressing.
See what happens when you catch them.
That's right.
Buckeye Profiles coming up next on Buckeye Football Weekly. Stay with us.